Welcome to another episode of the Business Spotlight Series. My name is Nate Woods. I'm a senior partner here at Action Coach Peachtree. Today I have Nickie Wolfe with DVASH Marketing as my guest today. We're going to be taking a look at her business, her journey toward business ownership, some challenges she's faced, how she was able to overcome them, and build the business that she's operating today. If it's your first time on the channel, please make sure to like and subscribe so you get notifications when we have new interviews posted just like this. Nickie, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you could just give us a brief overview, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
So DVASH Agency is a full-service marketing and branding agency. We do everything from building the foundations of your marketing messaging and branding to implementation. And we started out in the building the foundations and filling gaps. And what we really found is that we're great at implementation and the details. So now we're merging both of those businesses into DVASH.
Perfect. I love it. So give the speakers a little bit of interview watchers here a little bit of background. So generally speaking, how does the ownership structure for the business look like? What's happening with the merger? Will you now have partners or outside investors? What does that look like for you?
Sure. I'm getting a partner out of the New York area. His name is Major. And Major is more sales, and he's great at partnerships. So he brings some of those things that I have, but it's not what I'm best at. So what I love about the entrepreneurial journey is that he's a great talker, and I'm a great marketer, and I can do the words and I can make it all sound great on paper. He's like butter. So the two of us together have this synergy, and we work really well together. So we've been working on several projects together, but he supports me, I support him, and it's a very great relationship.
Awesome. I love it. So with this new venture and the collaboration, tell me a little bit about what is the role that you're going to be playing in the business?
Well, I developed this marketing model, which, the funnel, everyone uses the funnel in marketing. But what I did is I inverted the funnel and I call it the constellation model. And I have developed the processes and set the foundation for the agency for success. So think about running the agency, assessing the clients. What I'm going to be doing is onboarding clients, and I do that. And I think I will always do that because that way I really understand who they are and I understand what their needs are. And then once we have the intake done, I will turn it over to Major, who will handle the implementation or that business owner and business channel. So it's a little bit different, but it's a little bit different than a standard agency because sometimes they have someone that's more of like a project manager over it. I have a specialized vertical. So for example, if you take graphic design, I give you a graphic designer. I don't give you a project manager who's going to manage your graphic design. I'm going to give you a graphic designer who's managing a graphic design team. So it's set up more like a business, a B2B business, versus an agency.
Perfect. I love that. So you touched a little bit on it there, but what makes DVASH unique? Why would your customers choose you?
We innovate. I mean, in short, we innovate. There are a lot of people that think they innovate. There are a lot of people that think they do good marketing. And we've learned who can innovate and who isn't ready to innovate. And sometimes you're not ready. That there's no value connected to that. Sometimes you just need the basics and you need foundations reset. And then there are other businesses that need to innovate. But what sets us apart is we're not going to sell you exactly what you said. We're going to sell you what you need. We're going to provide to you what is going to move your business forward. And I think there are a lot of agencies out there that will promise something and not be able to deliver. Maybe that's from implementation. Maybe they sell a good sell, but we are able to deliver what you need. And we're going to tell you, if you do this, then you'll get this. And we're going to give you another roadmap to get you further. It's part of our core belief that to move businesses forward.
Awesome. I love that. So if you had a huge megaphone that you could shout out there to your entire marketplace, what do you think is one thing that you would like more people to know about your business?
I would say that if you are disappointed in the results that you've gotten from your marketing or advertising agency, to come to us because we can do it. And we've helped startups, we've helped B2B startups, incubators within large enterprises, and we've been able to give them the results that they need. And then they keep growing that business. And that's what kind of happens is we start like this small little seed, and then we fulfill more and more as we become embedded in the business.
Perfect. I love that. So leads me into a little bit about marketing. So I always like going through this with other marketing companies because you provide a unique perspective. This is your entire business, right? So what percentage of revenue do you generally recommend businesses invest back into their marketing?
Wow, that's a really hard question. And I'm going to say it's going to vary on the type of business. And it's going to vary on how much branding and marketing that you already have in the market. So, for example, a startup, a good portion of if you're selling the concept into the marketplace, a good portion of your marketing of your budget, I would say about 50% is going to go into delivering what that idea is. If you're talking about a breakthrough idea and you're trying to onboard new people, a breakthrough idea is something you're doing something differently that has been established prior, right? It hasn't been established prior. If you have your branding and marketing out there, you can go lower on that. And it depends how, the third factor I would say is, when is the last time you really invested in your marketing? So a lot of times in organizations, what we see in enterprises is the first thing that's cut is marketing. If you haven't done marketing for 6 months, you have to play catch up. And there is a lag. If you stop marketing, you can stop marketing if your brand is established for a certain period of time. However, if you leave off, when you start up, you've got to start all over. The market moves. So it just depends. I don't think I have a good answer.
No, I think that's perfect. That's perfect. So thinking about your business specifically, then, what would you say has been the number one marketing strategy for you that's brought you the most business?
Marketing strategy and getting clients. I would say it's a three. Referrals, because I started via referrals. Always, I trust in that doing a good job and meeting the needs and exceeding them is a great way to grow business. And then growing that within an enterprise. And then I would also say we've been investing now in a sales and lead channel, and having that and really building and nurturing that pipeline is very important. So that MQL to SQL process for an agency and diversifying the business, that's what we're focusing on more today.
Perfect. I love that. So we spent a little bit of time talking about the business and sharing some of the practices that you recommend. Let's take a step back now and look at your journey so far. So I guess for starters, why did you choose to go into business for yourself as opposed to going to work for someone else at a different agency?
Wow. So I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and I was memorizing advertising lines from the the TV commercials. And I made up a pseudonym at that age. I think it was 8th grade. But I think I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been an innovator. And I think the corporate America, if you think of corporate America, it's hard on innovators. You have to fit within a mold. You have the organizational structure within that. It's where I thrived. So I became an innovator first in 2008, and I started my own gas company outside in Lima, Peru. And after that, I had done that business venture with a partner. I actually had to get up the nerve to go in again and start on my own. So being a natural innovator, I knew what was working within businesses and what wasn't. And furthermore, I knew managing agencies, that I was managing more of that agency's work or the quality of it and developing it more than the agency was doing the work as an expert within the business. So whether it was PR, analyst relations, product marketing, field marketing, ideation and themes, thought leadership, whatever it was, I was having to refine what they were giving me, because the sales pitch at the front end was great, but the implementation, they gave me a junior employee. So it was just like extending my hands. And that's not what I was looking for as a business. And as a department head in a big business, you're looking for someone who can do the work. And that's really what drove me, was I saw that need. And the way that agency model, it wasn't really working. You needed results.
Absolutely. So as you look back on your journey, is there one memorable roadblock or hurdle that you were challenged with that you were able to overcome?
Let's see. I would say in the beginning, I thought I could do everything on my own. And I think that was the best thing that I learned was becoming open to feedback and other leaders and their journeys. For example, I'm reading this book by founder Frederick Karst of Okta. And in that book, he talks about the journeys of innovators and of individuals in their own startups and some of the hurdles that they've gotten over. And that key point of grit. I think everyone gets to a point within their business where they either innovate, choose to go forward, or they go back into corporate America. That point, what I learned is I learned that my success, that I would rather bet on myself and what I was able to build than on anybody else.
Absolutely. So as you look forward and think about the future in the business, I always look at developing and building team. So as you've managed different departments and go into business for yourself, how would you describe your leadership style?
Sure. What it's evolved to is a mix of collaboration and defining a clear path. So, I mean, as a newer employee, I tried to collaborate more and get consensus. But what I found out as a leader, sometimes you have to just draw the line because you need to move forward. So a mix of those and knowing when to pull each lever, the balance of those is my leadership style. And then I think over time I've become a little bit more, I would say, compassionate and empathetic, based on experiences that I've seen in employees or that I've experienced. And I think that is very, very important. It allows one to listen more. It allows you to hear and react in an intelligent manner.
Absolutely. I love that. So before I get to my final question for our interview, how can people learn more about you or more about DVASH Marketing? How can people get in contact?
Sure, they can email at us at info@wagmarketing.com, and then they can visit us on the web at wagmarketing.com or DVASHagency.com, and then one will be able to be seen from the other. But depending on what they need, they can visit either partner.
Perfect. Awesome. And my last question for you today is what most inspires you as you continue to grow the business?
I would say empowering team members, because I think there's this space where you can, as a CEO, you see the potential that people can grow to, and you also see how the team is developing within the enterprise. So what makes up a team? And it's like this puzzle. You look at it sort of as a balance of skill sets and personalities, and that's where my focus is these days. Is having the right team to execute and innovate.
Perfect. That is awesome. Nickie, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great talking with you. I appreciate you sharing your story with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on, Nate.